in the most important people on the planet. By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which is unheard of, apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, and you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that, right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it, right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So, anyway, thank you. This last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before now. I went, OK, great. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and they're all setting up, right? And the photos of the A-listers are all in their chairs. I go, oh, there's Brad, there's Liz. And they went, good. I went, oh, great. I went, yeah. And then the head lawyer, he was about 60 years old. He had, like, white hair. He went, oh, yes, there was one thing. Now, I did this joke. I don't know if you remember. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on at one point, I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg and licking her own minge, right? So this lawyer went, he said, this is all true, by the way. He went, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's just referring to his role in Cats, right? I went, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Nah. And he went, OK, great. I thought, this is easy. I wanted to go, call yourself a lawyer, right? And that was it. And I went, have a great show. And I left. And as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers lean in and show this head lawyer his iPhone. And the head lawyer went, oh, yeah. He went, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a minute? Right, so I'm there. I went, yeah. So he had the phone there. They'd looked up the word minge. I thought I'd gotten away with it, right? So it's now like I'm getting told off. And the head lawyer said, now, it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in England. You don't even use it here, do you? He went, no, we don't, but we go around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep that word live. I went, don't bleep the word, like, because people at home won't know what I've said. It'll ruin the... I said, it's literally the punchline. He said, if it's derogatory, I have to... I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, well, you could say vagina. I went, I'm not saying vagina, right? Nothing funny about it. It's so clinical. I was thinking, Judi Dench at home going, why is he talking about my actual vagina, right? I said, minge isn't like that. It's like, it's not so specific, because vagina's so... Where's your vagina? There, right? Where's your minge? There. It's like... Then one of the younger lawyers went, what about box? I went, I'm not fucking saying box, mate, right? So imagine looking at your own box, right? I said, minge is perfect. I said, people won't know what... If they're American, they won't know what... I said, it's not offensive. It's like... I said, kids use the word in England. Right? They weren't having it. So I said, what about flange? Right? So they looked up the word flange, right? And he went, well, that'd just be confusing, because in America, a flange is a part of a sink unit. I went, oh, well, I said, please let me say minge and don't bleep it. I was really rooting for minge. Right? It was like 12 Angry Men. I go, no one's leaving till I can say minge. Right? And after about 10 minutes, I wore them down. Whatever, said, that won't work. So I was going, please. I said, I'll write them. You won't get any complaints and all this sort of... And eventually, the head lawyer went, OK, you can say minge. I went, and you won't bleep it? He went, no, we won't bleep it. I went, you promise? He went, yes. And I left. I knew they would. And they fucking did, right? So, when I said minge, I pointed. The most frequently asked question I get about the Golden Globes is always, was someone so angry about what you said about them, they came up to you afterwards and want to throw, I always go, oh God, no. I wouldn't even say if that had happened, because I don't like gossip, to be honest, right? There was one guy I thought took it the wrong way, right? It wasn't a bad, no, the cameras went to him, and I'm not in control of the cameras, so I think he was caught in the headlights. It was Elton John, right? But it wasn't a bad joke. I was introducing Madonna, okay? And I later found out that him and Madonna were in this feud, and he hated being mentioned in the same sentence as it. But I didn't know at the time. I was confused, right? And it wasn't part of the monologue, but I'm there for like 3 hours, right? And now and again, the stage manager put a head around the door and go, do you want to introduce so-and-so? And I go, yeah, fine. And I come out and I either do it straight or I ad-lib. And this was little ad-lib because I saw Elton in the front row, right? So this was the joke. I came out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Elton. Sit down, right? And he sort of went to him, he sort of went, and I was like, oh, fuck, he hated that. And I was thinking, why is he, I was like, oh, God, do you think I'm homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. There's always in my head. Then I thought, he must have heard worse, right? In the 1980s, right, when Elton John was in the closet, he wasn't out, he was married to a woman, right? He was also chairman of Watford Football Club. And he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, "Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse." Which puts my little quip into perspective, doesn't it? I don't know how football fans know how to start at the right time in the same key. Do they hand out sheet music before we're doing Willy up the arse in C? Jeff's doing a solo. It's like, and what they usually do, they get a traditional tune so everyone knows it, and they change the lyrics. Some genius changes the lyrics, right, to be as offensive about someone or something or somewhere or whatever, right? So the tune they used to use, I remember it, it was that old Cockney knees up song. My old man said, follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Do you know that one? Remember the term dilly-dally? They use it very creatively in their version, right? So this was their lyric. It was the 80s. It's not politically correct. I apologise. But they're football hooligans. What are you going to do, right? So let's analyse their genius lyrics, right? This is what they used to sing. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. I mean, you might. Not necessarily his, but, you know, like mathematicians amongst you would have to go, yeah, there's a slight... Like, if 1,000 people bent down when Elton was around, one of them might randomly... Someone might come off a bicycle and go, sorry, like that, and they go, oh, fuck, and the scientists will go, one. Do you know what I mean? There's a slight... Also, when Elton's around, that's ambiguous. That could fit... Like, you could have two gentlemen having anal sex in a hotel room, right? And then the next day they find out that Elton John was staying in the next room. They go, oh, I got a willy up the arse when Elton was around, you know? I'll give them that. Anyway. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. He has the nerve to call us dear. We all know he's a fucking quill. Sorry, right? And he goes... He dallies and dillies. They've reversed it. Why? He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. Again, I don't know what play with means in this context. It could be like, wow. It could be anything, couldn't it? Wow. I thought you were going to suck it. No. He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. He's up every arse in town. I'd stop him there. I'd go, no, you know, that is provably false. He's not up every arse in town, is he? We can prove that. Right, take a small town. Take Watford. 120,000 people. He is not up 120,000 arses, is it? I mean, half of them are women, so 60,000 tops, right? And I don't think he's been up 60,000. And if he has, good luck to him, but that's not my point. This is my point, right? What did his then wife think of that? Because he's in the closet, right? He's, you know, and she's just married Elton John the Pop. She couldn't be... She's in love. She's so proud of him. Elton John, and he's chairman of Watford. She goes, look, I'm married Elton John the Pop star. I'm married to Elton John the Pop star. And then the entire crowd sing, don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. She must have gone, why are they singing that, Elton? And he goes, I don't fucking know. Watch the game. You know what I mean? It must have been awkward. Well, that's nearly it for me, but I've just... I said earlier, I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes, and that is absolutely true, but I've just remembered a joke that I stopped myself because I bottled it a bit. And I think I was being overcautious. I want to share it with you, right? So I got the chance to introduce Jason Momoa. Do you know who Jason Momoa is? Yeah, right? So I thought the meta joke would be to show my hypocrisy and my cowardice. Like, I'm okay to slag off actors. Who's scared of actors? But when it comes to a big dude, right, I'm not so brave. So I was going to go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm, right? And I told my mate I was going to do that, and my mate went, do you think people think that's racist? I went, why is it racist? He went, well, because he's a person of colour. And I went, no, but it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that he's so big that he'd probably have a cock like a baby's arm, right? So I didn't do it. And I had a great follow-up as well. I'll tell you the whole thing. This is the whole thing. This is what I was going to do, right? Right. So I go out and go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm. Unlike Peter Dinklage, who's got an arm like a baby's cock. I reckon it's the next 10 years that I will. But as of now, my arsehole has never let me down. Very underrated, the human arsehole. Everyone goes, oh, the human brain, the greatest computer known to man. All the human liver can regenerate itself. Your arsehole is working 24/7. Even when you're asleep, it's like that. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. Nope. You're not coming out. And you're not coming in. Because it's like a sewer in there, isn't it? But you've got a lovely little manhole cover. Think of that in real life. Walking along a pavement, it's lovely pavement. If that burst, and you know what's in a sewer, don't you? Piss and shit and cum and dead goldfish and fetuses. In China, just the girl ones. Relax. I'm at that age now as well, because I'm in entertainment. People say, oh, you can have a facelift. I go, no. Have you seen facelifts? They're still just that. Like that. You know what I mean? You go to the doctor, and the doctor goes, do you want to look old or Chinese? You know, it's like, nothing wrong with looking Chinese if you're Chinese. If you're not Chinese, it's a bit weird. It's offensive. Why is that allowed? You're not allowed to black up. Why can you do that? Maybe there are terms and conditions to make sure you're never that racist. Like the doctor goes, right, we've done the eyes, but never leave the house in a little lampshade, because... Oh, so childish. It's so childish. But I hope you agree it was a positive show. It wasn't about death, it was about life. And some people are so worried about dying, they forget to live. And some people are so scared to do something. Oh, no, that's dangerous, that's dangerous. All the most fun things are dangerous. Roads are dangerous. Alcohol is dangerous. Alcohol is a poison. I should know. I sell it. Dutch Barn. Right? So, yes. Right. Alcohol gives you brain disease, liver disease, kidney disease, heart disease, mental illness, but it does loosen you up at parties. So... Think of all the babies born through alcohol, yeah. Many of them deformed if the mother carried on drinking. But the good thing about being born deformed is, you... Hear me out. The good thing about being born deformed is you can start drinking at a much younger age and no one gives you... Do you know what I mean? You see a normal kid drinking, you go, you little bastard. You see a deformed kid drinking, you go, yeah, go on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You're 8 or 9, you've had 27 painful operations, you've met Ollie Murs, have a drink, you know. Well, as you can see, I run out of quality material. Include them. You know? But they know I'm joking about all the other stuff, but they go, no, he must mean that, right? Like a joke is a window to the comedian's true soul. That's just not the case. I'll take on any view to make the joke funniest. I'll pretend to be right-wing. I'll pretend to be left-wing. I'll pretend to be clever. I'll pretend to be stupid. Whatever makes the joke funnier without prejudice. Okay, full disclosure, in real life, of course I support trans rights. I support all human rights, and trans rights are human rights, you know? Live your best life. Use your preferred pronouns. Be the gender that you feel that you are. But meet me halfway, ladies. Lose the cock. That's all I'm saying. Like, I made a joke about self-ID. But in fact, I wish self-ID had been around when I was a kid. I'd have used it to get shit. I'd have gone to my mum, Mum, I'm trans. She'd have gone, what? I'd have gone, I'm either trans or I need a new bike. Right? She'd have gone, you need a new bike. I'd have gone, you're the boss. But I grew up in the 60s, Jesus. I had, like, Victorian parents. We hadn't heard of any of this. But what if I was a teenager now in these really woke, progressive times, right? And I had really cool, hippie parents, right? And I went, Mother, Father, I'm trans. They'd go, oh, goody, that's so fucking trendy, right? And my dad would go, Bagsy, I picked the vagina. I go, thank you, Daddy. Right? Then there'd be like a montage, right? And I'd go to hospital, I'd have all the electrolysis, I'd grow my hair, right? I'd have a big fanny, I think. No, if someone else is paying, I'll have the big one, you know what I mean? Like, Dad trying to buy me a minge, fuck you, Dad, right? Like, big fanny, boobs, right? And, right? No, and I'd come out and I'd emerge, I'd be a real woman. I'd be Ricky Gervais. I'd be Ricky Gervais, right? Yeah, and I'd be a real woman, right? And you can't change your sexuality, so I find women attractive, so I'd be a lesbian. I'd be a little lesbian fella called Ricky Gervais, right? right? And probably be a butch lesbian, because of all the testosterone up till then, right? Also, I like the fashion. Jeans, black T-shirt, short hair, beard. I'd be a real lesbian called Ricky Gervais, lesbian about town, right? And so I'd go down to Brighton, right? And I'd go into a lesbian bar, right? And I'd go, hi, pool table, winner stays on. I'll be there all fucking night. Right. This joke isn't worth it for the punchline. The punchline is shit, really. So just enjoy the journey, right? Right. So I'd look around and I'd find one of them pretty lesbians, right? This is so childish and misinformed. It hurts, right? I'm going to leave it in, though, right? So, no, I'd find a pretty lesbian. This is pathetic, right? Even for me, I can't do this with a fucking straight face, right? And I'd go over that, I go, hi, you a lesbian? She'd go, yeah. Are you a lesbian? I go, yeah, just a bit, look at that, right? And she'd go, that is a lovely fanny. I go, fucking cost enough. She'd go, what? I go, nothing, right? And then I'd be wooing her, right? I'd be doing all like I'd be sort of like complimenting her on a sort of lesy ways. I'd go, I love your Doc Martens, right? She'd go, oh, thanks, right? Right? She goes, I go, oh, there's the big earrings, aren't they? Right? So, yeah, right. And then she'd go, do you want to come back to my place and les off? I go, yeah, just a bit, right? So we go back, we get naked, I'd boob her up, I don't know what you do, I'd minge her off. I'd do that one, I'd do that one, definitely do that one, right? I'd Google it, wouldn't I? I'd fucking Google it, right? And and then she'd go, oh, do you want to wear a strap-on dildo and give me a good seeing to? I go, yeah, right. So I put a strap-on on, I put the big dildo there on my new fanny like that, and tie it at the back, and that's when I'd kick myself. I told you it was shit, didn't I? Oh, God. Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. You know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God. You know, the ones with wombs. Oh. Those fucking dinosaurs. No, I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and cocks. They're as good as... They're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you fucking bigot. What if he rapes me? What if she rapes you? You fucking turf whore. It's not a show. There's no dancers or jugglers. It's basically a bloke talking, which is essentially what stand-up comedy is, isn't it? A bloke talking. Sexist. What about all the funny female comedians? Like, No. Right. No. I'm not doing that. OK, right. That was irony, OK? There's going to be a bit of that throughout the show. See if you can spot it, OK? Now, that's when I say something I don't really mean for comic effect, and you as an audience, you laugh at the wrong thing because you know what the right thing is. It's a way of satirising attitudes. Like that first joke, I used the old-fashioned sexist trope that women aren't funny. Now, in real life, I know there are loads of funny women. Like, I did it again. Well spotted. Good. No, but there are. Dame Edna Everage. She's... Eddie Izzard. She's brilliant, isn't she? She's not only a great comedian, she's also a great actress, isn't she? What fat people say, I'm fat, I'm overweight. Do you know why? Because I eat and drink too much. That's what does it. I don't judge fat people, I just know how they got fat. If I see a fat person, I go, well done. You know, you've eaten way more than you'll ever need, same as me, right? If I see a fat couple, I go, yeah, that works, right? But then as they're walking along, right, and you see their little fat toddlers, and you go, that's not fair, right? And the mother always goes, they love cake. Of course they love cake. They're baby mammals. We're the same species as we were like 200,000 years ago. We've got a hunter-gatherer brain, right? All this affluence is so much faster than our human biology. So when you get one of those cakes from the supermarket that's packed with fats and sugar, your brain goes, fucking hell, that's amazing. Keep eating that, there might not be food tomorrow. But there will be food tomorrow. The fridge is full and your mum's on the phone to Ocado. You know what I mean? And now there's even a stigma, like doctors get in trouble for saying to someone, you're overweight or obese. They go, no, that's a political thing. No, it's like fat shaming. It's not fat, you don't get cancer shaming. He's trying to save your life, right? There was a school that tried to ban the word obese because they said it was derogatory to, I don't know what to call them, round children, right? But that's the polite word. That's the word we invented, so we didn't say fat little fucker. Don't keep changing words because one person gets offended. Also, fat people aren't offended by the word obese. They did it all. They're happy with it. They're jolly, aren't they? They're jolly. You know, you see a fat person go, all right, fatty. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bloop, bloop, bloop. yeah. And they go to the doctor, come in. Doctor goes, fuck me. Oh. Am I obese? No, you're morbidly obese. What does that mean? Means you're going to die of it. Oh, does it? All right. What, straight away or? No. You've got diabetes, so you're having your legs amputated soon. And then if you carry on, you'll die later of like stroke and respiratory heart failure. So, all right. Is there anything I can do? Oh, yeah, of course there is. You could start working out and eat healthy, you'll be right as rain. Oh, right. But you won't, will you? No. And I feel sorry for them, even though it's their fault. When you see one of those documentaries on telly, like The 600-Pound Man or something, and He's being winched out of his house to go to hospital, right? If you're dangling from a crane, right? Right? And you see a film crew, right? You know you fucked it. And then, you know, as I say, then they wake up the next day and they've had their legs amputated. It's really sad, and they're crying and I'm crying. They go, oh, God, why did I let it go this far? I'm so stupid. Then they get philosophical about it and they go, I never really used the legs. So... And by then it's lunchtime, and so, you know... And they go to the nurse, you didn't throw them legs away, did you? Guys, do you ever act more working class around builders? I do. I can be walking around leafy Hampstead, right? Book of poems, right? Scarf, right? Just humming Brahms, right? And if some scaffolders go, Ricky, I go, all right, you can't say doing, boys. Like that. And I don't know why I try and impress them. I've always been fascinated with human behaviour, right? But as I said at the beginning, we're the only species that allows the universe to understand itself. But we see all nature through our eyes, so it all comes back to us. Why are we here? What makes us? Is it our genetics or the environment? The old nature versus nurture argument. The psychologist Piaget was once asked, what's more important for the intellect of a person, nature or nurture? And he famously replied, what's more important for the area of a field, length or width? All right, mate, if you don't know the answer, just fucking... But psychology, psychiatry, neuroscience, it's still in its infancy. And we still know so little about the brain. And 150 years ago, we knew nothing. It was all guesswork, right? And everything was just mental. If you weren't a white, sort of heterosexual, married Christian man, right? If you deviated too far, mental. They just went mental, like that. Like homosexuality, mental illness, you were put in an asylum for life, or worse, tortured. Women who fell pregnant out of wedlock, mental, asylum for life, right? And now we understand things more, we're more tolerant, I think it's going too far the other way, though, because now nothing's mental. You can't find somewhere that nothing is considered mental. Everything is a syndrome. I actually joined a gym, literally on my road, I discovered. I've got a gym in my house, I got bored with that. But I thought, if I join a gym, if I pay in advance, like pay a year in advance, right, then I'll try and get value for money and that'll make me go. Then I remembered, oh, I'm fucking rich. You know what I mean? I could join a different gym every day for a laugh. Just go along and go, there's £2,000. They go, see you tomorrow. I go, you'll never see me again. And I go about once a month and I sort of do 10 minutes on the machines and I sort of run home like that, right? I don't use the changing rooms there. I've got a thing about changing rooms, public changing rooms. I always have, I know, I'll tell you why. I don't know if it's the same in ladies' changing rooms, but men are so proud of their offal, right? If I'm in a public place, I have a shower, right? 1 minute, towel, corner, pants on, right? There's blokes walking around naked before the shower, talking to each other, like that, after the shower. There was one bloke in the shower, way too long, right? It was ages, right? And he got out, no towel, just dripping wet, just went up to the mirror and started doing his hair first. I was in there there was just me and this really fat bloke once in the change room. I was getting changed, and he was there, and he was really big, like 350 pounds, right? And he was naked on one of those precision scales. And he was there for fucking ages, and I was looking at that, right? He was like that for ages.